know the saying, girls go to college to get more knowledge, and boys go to Jupiter to get more stupider. And men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Why do we say these? Are women and men really that different? Or have the communication lines just never fit quite together well enough? According to the article, 10 Ways Men and Women Communicate Differently, written by Susan Sherwood, PhD, for Discovery.com in 2011. Men and women vary greatly in their different ways of communication. Men and women are very different when it comes to communicating on many levels. By discussing these differences, talking through the different types of communication differences, and in examining some of the effects these differences have, we can gain a better understanding as to why talking it out just doesn't mean the same thing to men and women. Many differences exist between the communication styles of men and women. Thomas C. Halliburton once said, "A woman is always wrong until she cries. Then she's instantly right." According to the aforementioned article, written by Susan Sherwood, PhD, women focus more on making connections, and men focus more on accomplishing something when communicating. This is why it is often said that women like to share their feelings, and men don't. Girls often focus more on using emotions and discussing their problems in length, whereas guys often focus more on hitting the issue head-on and getting it taken care of. Men and women also vary greatly in communication on a neurological scale. According to Michael G. Connor, PhD's essay, Understanding the Difference Between Men and Women, from OregonCouncil.org, last updated 2010, men and women's use of their brains plays a key role in how they communicate differently. Connor states that women have 4 times as many brain cells connecting the right side of the brain to the left side. Also, men are very left brain oriented. They work on solving problems one at a time. Women, however, can use parts from both sides of their brain simultaneously, making them much better at multitasking. Connor stated, "Young boys express confusion and would rather play sports than participate actively in a conversation between 5 girls who are probably talking about up to 3 different subjects." Now that we've discussed the differences, we will talk through some different types of communication differences. With these many communication diversities come many unique differences. For example, women often elaborate more when they speak. According to the article, Bridging the Communication Gap, written by Lynn Burris for Sweet101.com on January 20th, 2008, women feel the need to add more details when they talk. Women often use upwards of 25,500 words a day, whereas men only use about 12,500. Also, on average, women maintain eye contact for about 12 seconds, whereas men for only about 3 seconds. On the other hand, men prefer to be much shorter, sometimes sweeter, and to the point. Men are bottom line seekers in conversations, and they aren't interested in any extra information. They often get very frustrated when trying to communicate in a female sort of manner, and they can get overwhelmed with the excess use of detail. Damian Whitworth, author of the article Why Men and Women Argue Differently, published in the Times for TimesOnline.com on October 30th, 2007, illustrates that women often take a more aggressive approach, while men tend to take a more passive approach. Elaine D. Eaker, SCD, also published her own research in psychosomatic medicine that stated men are much more likely to hold their feelings in when arguing than women. It seems as if Margaret Thatcher was right in saying, in politics, if you want something said, ask a man. If you want something done, ask a woman. Now that we've talked through the different types of differences, we can examine some of the effects that these differences have. The communication differences between men and women are often the source of problems in many areas, such as the workplace and relationships. Communication is vital in the workplace, and the barriers between men and women can inhibit this. According to Sima Lieberman from SimaLieberman.com, men like to focus more on the direct achievements of a project and the bottom line needed. Women, on the other hand, like to sort through all the details and look at many aspects. This can become very frustrating for the guys, and they can become distant and unattached to the project very quickly. Also, relationships would not be able to work without communication. but barriers arise in these as well. One of the favorite arguments men like to claim is the infamous, "She's always trying to change who I am." This, however, is not quite the case. According to the article, Differences Between Men and Women, written for RelationshipInstitute.com, women often try to get their men to listen to them and offer advice when the men don't want it. This often comes off as women wanting to change the men. So ladies, next time just listen to what your guy has to say. And guys, don't assume she wants a different you. Now we all know that men and women are both from Earth, and hundreds of thousands of men and women attend college every year together to get more knowledge. But communication differences between men and women do exist. After discussing the differences, talking through the different types, and examining some of the effects these differences have, you now have a better understanding of the age-old argument. So remember, the next time you're talking with your man or civilly discussing with your girl, he's probably not from Mars and she's probably not from Venus. But the communication differences aren't so out of this world.
I disagree with all that. That's not true. Yes, it is. No matter what I say,